My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah.
Good morning, guys. Pops the Paladin here, talking about Mythic Spellblade Aluriel, and kind of the things I want to bring out there right ahead of the fight is I was using a DPS rotation, but I was using survival trinkets because it is a tank damage heavy fight. We 5 healed this, so I just wanted to I want to throw damage out, especially when the ads were around, but I wanted to be able to survive through Annihilates. Now, the first Annihilate's not going to hit you very hard. It should only hit you for about 3 million total damage, or 2.8 million total damage, but the second Annihilate that you're taking, especially with you taking it on your own, you're going to take 6.3 million damage. Now, as a Prot Paladin, you're going to see here on this specific kill, I only have 5.4 million, which means I would be overkilled by a shitload. So therefore, we need to make sure that we have enough cooldowns and or stamina to survive that. And there are times you should always have cooldowns available, but there are times where you don't have it, and therefore you kind of want that health. So what I use Royal Dagger Haft in order to kind of survive a little bit, and then I also use Grotesque Statuette for the increased mastery for block and damage mitigation. What you're going to see here is I pull first, and what that means is my off tank is taking the Spinning Fell Soul off into that back hallway. For our Annihilates here, we need to make sure that we're using externals, Bark Skins, Sanks, Monk Bubbles, Spirit Link. I mean, if you have multiple and you're not using your Spirit Links elsewhere, but you should be. So just kind of keep that in mind. What you're going to notice in our specific fight is we tank in that little corner. Because we fought this in a very specific manner, I knew I wasn't going to get a high DPS parse, therefore it wasn't really that important to me in order to be full quote-unquote DPS build, because you're going to see I'm just kind of standing off here in no man's land, and that's because if that Fell Soul ad comes out like you see it did, and there's still Icy Enchants out, and I try to leave that circle, what's going to happen is I'm going to get frozen, and when I get frozen, that's going to throw off placing this nice little green circle away from the raid group. Does it suck for us DPS tanks? You damn well better believe it. Is it good the fact that we can do this to get kills and get loot? Hell yes. I would rather get loot than DPS parse any day. I know it looks good, it looks great, you feel good about it, but when it comes down to it, it's all about the loot. It's all about moving on to further bosses. So you're going to see here, we put all of this stuff in this back corner. Now, when you get booted backwards, make sure you don't get booted past that threshold, or if you do, it should be barely past that threshold, especially when that world boss is up and you accidentally pull it like our tank did, and we just had to instant wipe because we've got basically 3 raid bosses going on at the same time. For this specific Annihilate phase, what you're going to see here is we have everybody spread because the orbs that are coming out, and then also we're going to have them collapse. Now, my off tank's going to take the Fell Soul out for Fell Lash, and he's going to solo this one because he's a bear, and bears are a little overpowered right now. Good thing they're getting a nerf in 7.2.5 because then it'll make it fair. But anyways, you're going to see us make a nice little tight circle around here on the stairs for when these orbs drop. This will keep all those arcane enchantments or enhancement or whatever the hell they are in a nice concise circle because we want to be able to AoE DPS them down. In here, you're also going to note that I don't really use any cooldowns for this second Annihilate. 1, I've got a bear tank standing with me. 2, we got a Spirit Link totem that goes down. 3, I have a warrior who uses Commanding Shout. So all in all, I'm getting a massive increase. I don't really have to use any of my cooldowns, which is good because I'm going to need it for the 3rd time I'm tanking Spellblade Aluriel. You are going to note that I'm going to die during Spellblade Aluriel's Annihilate number 9, which I should have been able to take solo, but I missed time to cooldown. All on me, which put me at 0% durability to finish this fight because I'm an idiot and did not repair before this kill. So that's kind of funny right there. But anyways, so you're going to see I got to pull this Fell Soul. Now, this is the Fell Soul that spins, so if you happen to get this the first time you're tanking, i.e. your off tank or your main tank pulls first and you have to handle this, this is what this ad's going to do. You're going to flip-flop back and forth as you transition through these phases. So you will have to deal with both types of Fell Souls. It's just when are you going to have to deal with it. Now, the difficult part about this specific Fell Soul is that he or she is going to be active when those ads come up this time. Whereas then the first time, this Fell Soul disappeared when the ads came up. So now you're going to have to deal with the Decimate. As you see, it boots me out of the middle of nowhere, and I have a very hard time picking up all these ads because of that. So if you're the tank tanking it in this specific time, have people like a rogue misdirect to you. Have a hunter misdirect to you. If people get trained with these ads, make them run to the tank so you can pick them up, because this is a very difficult time to pick up these ads. And then in terms of just kind of going through, it's a rinse and repeat fight from here on. Just making sure that you have the correct cooldowns. Now, see, like I said, I was stupid. I was supposed to use my Ardent Defender right there, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to survive, and stupidly, I did not. I was the only death, so we had a battle res available. I feel really embarrassed about that, but you know, we still got the kill here. So I still treat this second Annihilate just like I would have if I were to get 2 Annihilates, as obviously since I died, my debuff dropped. So you're going to see me pop Guardians. I said, oh, I have Ardent, so I popped Ardent, and I pretty much just blazed through here, taking almost 0 damage, which is really important to do. You want to try to get Spellblade down before these fire ads really pop up and start to cast, because you need to interrupt them. Now, with us, we were so close. We had 80 million health left on Spellblade. I called for an ignore ad and burn boss phase, which worked just fine for us. We were using personals and everything. But if you are higher than, I would say, 120 million left on Spellblade, you have to kill those fire ads. You will not beat the Pyroblast cast. So just switch off to the fire ads, kill them like normal, come back to Spellblade, and hopefully you'll be able to down her before the arcane phase starts and the next Fell Lashes come out. Because if you didn't take Fell Lashes the first time, guess who's going to be taking them? And it's going to kind of suck, because if you really don't have a major cooldown, I mean, you can taunt and Divine Shield, but at the same time, it's a little risky to do. Just try to bear that in mind. You really need to be pumping out some pretty damn good DPS for this fight in order to down it and get it in a nice, easy fashion. Other than that, I hope this helped you guys, especially as Prot Paladins. I know we suffer on this fight because of our lack of stamina, but we do have a lot of good cooldowns for this fight. Just don't do like I did and accidentally forget to use your Ardent at the last second. So I wish you guys all the best in loot and downing your bosses, and hopefully we'll have a Tichondrius video up here most likely by Tuesday. I'm already working on editing that, so great job guys, and we'll see you later.